I'm Eric Egley, and welcome to this month's edition of PS Pointers. I've been trying out a new piece of software that has made a big difference in my workflow. It's by onOne software. It's called Perfect Photo Suite 6, and it's pretty darn impressive, I gotta tell you. They've done some major changes to it. They came out with perfect layers not too long ago, which allowed you to use layers within Lightroom, which was a big deal. Now what they've done is they've taken their photo suite and they've combined all their plugins, okay, into one suite, and they've basically combined a few and separated a few others, and they've added a couple, and that's what I really want to talk to you about, is what they've added, because my favorite is Perfect Portrait. It's just an incredible piece of software. What they've also done is they've totally rewritten everything, and now it's a separate program, so you can use it without any other programs. It's a standalone, which is really cool too. But what's really neat is you can go right into it through Lightroom. Once you save, it creates a stacked image for you in Lightroom. So it's totally non-destructive. You still have your original image. So let's get started. Let's see what we got here. And what I want to do is basically go into your file, and it's under plugin extras and hit Perfect Photo Suite. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to take this into Perfect Layers within the suite, and that's where you start out anytime you get into the suite here. Okay, there we go. And what I want to show you today is Perfect Portrait, because it'll blow you away. It saves a lot of time, and if you've ever done any retouching on skin, it takes some time to do it right, and it takes a lot of effort. Even when you get into actions and everything, it's not as precise and detailed as it really needs to be. But let's see how far onOne has really taken this. It's pretty darn cool. Let's go into it. Right up here on this top bar, just hit Portrait. And what it's doing now is it is sort of calculating exactly where the face is, and it'll do that either in a single individual, or it will calculate faces in groups also. Cool stuff. Okay, one feature that I generally don't use is this little one over here called Skin Tune. Okay, and what it does is it takes basically an average skin color for whatever your subject is. Right now it's on ethnicity Caucasian. I generally do all my color correcting before I get in here. And that brings up another point. I like to do any of the major retouching before I actually bring it into this suite, or any other plugin software for that matter. So you see these little bars here, that's telling me basically where the face is. And what we need to do is come up here. I'm going to go to press on the little silhouette up here, and I want to show the mask, because I want to see exactly where that mask is. Okay, overlay, and it did a pretty darn nice job of masking out the face. Okay, on this particular one, what I'd like to do is I want to correct basically all the skin. Okay, so I want to do the body also, and this allows you to mask it right within the software. Okay, so we're going to mask out pretty much everything here, and you can also see, I'm going to enlarge this here momentarily. And it really, on this one, it's a white background, so it really doesn't matter if I go outside the lines. But let's bring this up just a little bit as far as the magnification here. Okay, let's go 50%. That'll be good. Okay, great. And then back here, and we're just going to adjust the brush just a little bit more and take out this area, and this is basically telling the program where it's going to apply the filters. Okay, and you want the eyes separate, and you want also the lips separate, and eyebrows obviously. So, and up here under painting mode, you can do paint out or paint in. I'm going to paint out. I want to make sure the lips are really nice and outlined here. Okay, here we go. And I'm not going to take as much time as I usually do, just for the sake of the tutorial here. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I mean, check this out, because it actually filled in this feather real nice. I mean, it's not completely opaque. It does have a little bit of translucency to it, you know, because you do see through that. So that's kind of cool that it did that automatically. It was that's awesome how that works. Okay, let's take a look there. Okay, now that we have our mask. Oh, hold on, forgot the ear. Let's get that. And remember that anything we do can be basically masked back in, or the opacity can be changed through the advanced layer menus here. So that's pretty good. Now let's take a look. I'm going to actually enlarge this just a little bit more so you can actually see a little better what's happening here. Okay, great. And what it has done is it has already applied the filter. So what we want to do is come over to skin retouching. Okay, blemishes takes care of the larger problems with the skin. Okay, I generally don't want to do that because for my particular way of retouching skin, I don't want to soften it too much. I still want that texture, which we're going to get into in a minute. But so I'm going to take the blemishes down just a little bit. The smoothing is what I like to play with to see where we can get this, and the smoothing takes care of the finer details of the skin. So that's looking pretty good right there. All right, shine. I generally don't play with that too much unless it's the more candid type stuff. Basically, with what I do, I like to get some of those specularity of the skin to actually show shape in the face. So I'm going to leave that alone. Texture is another thing altogether. Okay, texture, a lot of times what we do with skin retouching is we will actually smooth it out and then add texture back into the skin to make it look more realistic. So we don't want it looking like a China doll. We still need to keep texture in that skin, so we will just add a little bit of texture back into it. Great. And she's looking pretty good. Now there's another tool in here that is very similar to the healing brush. You can see up here there's a few spots on the skin where we'd like to take those out, and you just go into well, what they call it is Retouch Brush up here. Select your size and basically just touch it, and that's pretty darn good. And you can adjust the feather of the brush, brush opacity, just like in Photoshop. Right up here, we'll take care of that one. And I think there's one more I want to take care of right here. And there you go. It's amazing. It's awesome. It makes a big difference in workflow. This is quick compared to what it used to be. The other great thing is eyes. If you go up here, remember we masked out the eyes there? Just click on that, and basically what's going to happen is you come down here and to facial features, okay? And let's go down there. And what that does is it whitens the eyes. You can go ahead and check out the whitening, okay? And the other part is the color of the eyes. It'll boost that up a little bit. And then the clarity, which just sharpens those features up, okay? And that also brings out that color a little bit too. Now the other part of this is mouth, and what that does is it'll whiten the teeth. This one doesn't have any teeth to whiten, but it'll whiten teeth through this little slider bar here, and it'll also take up the vibrance of the color of the lips, okay? And then of course you can adjust the strength of what it's doing there. So that's a very basic tutorial on what just Perfect Portrait does. This thing has what we got 7 different things here, from Perfect Layers, Perfect Mask, which I use a lot in Mask Pro. Perfect Portrait is just phenomenal. Effects, blur, the Perfect Blur, that's really cool, and I'll get into another tutorial on each one of these. Needs its own tutorial really, and it needs several tutorials because you can really get advanced in these things. And Perfect Frame and Perfect Resize. So we'll get into that a little bit later on, but Perfect Portrait will definitely change the way you look at skin retouching and retouching your portraits, your beauty shots, and basically anything that has to do with people. What we'll do here also is we're going to do a comparison. Okay, here's a before on the left hand side and the after. pretty darn impressive. I mean, this is just incredible, and that was with very little effort, and it took very little time. That's a big thing. So check it out. Actually, if you look to the right side of the screen here, there's a button for onOne software and Perfect Photo Suite. You can save a few bucks there. I think it's like 10% discount. Click on it, try it out. It's awesome. And I will be talking about other parts of the photo suite and other tutorials coming up. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.